Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening. This is the National News Telecast. I'm Movin Hettiarachchi.
A very good evening indeed. I'm Sharifa Tahir. Let's take a look at the headlines. Permission will be given to import vehicles from the 1st of October. The Cabinet approves to reduce pay tax. Government grants 200 million rupees to purchase 200,000 metric tons of milk powder from Milko. The IMF says that the achieved economic targets should be protected. The President says that people should not bleak their future by providing a chance to the NPP. Sajid is ready to start R. Premadasa's era apparel revolution. NPP leader Anura Kumara pledges to safeguard the due place of Buddhism in the country. Nama Rajapaksa says that those who are with dark history are scared of talking about history. Gaza's economy is in danger of total collapse. We now move on to those and other stories in detail, taking a look at local news first. The Cabinet has given approval to revise the personal income tax structure with effect from April next year.
This revision has been made under the government's program to provide relief to the payers. Under the government's far-sighted income management and state monetary stability, the tax levels have been expanded. Accordingly, this tax charge from individuals whose income is over 150,000 rupees has been reduced by 14%. The tax charge by a person with an income of 200,000 rupees has been reduced by 20%. The tax charge by a person having an income of 300,000 rupees monthly will be reduced by 25%. Speaking in regard to this Cabinet press briefing today, Minister Bandula Gangadhar said that the decision was based on positive status of the economy in recent months. He stated that the proposal will be presented with the next budget proposal in November this year. He stated that the government has submitted the relevant proposal to the International Monetary Fund and obtained its approval. He said that according to this proposal, the payee tax currently collected from each income structure will be reduced as follows. Income of 3,500 rupees imposed on individuals with a monthly income of 150,000 rupees will be reduced by 500 rupees to 3,000 rupees. The tax of 10,500 rupees currently imposed on an individual with a monthly income of 200,000 rupees will be reduced to 2,100 rupees to 8,400 rupees. The 35,000 rupee tax imposed on an individual with a monthly income of 300,000 rupees will be reduced by 8,600 rupees to 26,400 rupees. He further said that an individual earning a monthly income of 450,000 rupees is currently required to pay a tax of 88,500 rupees, while this will be reduced by 16,500 rupees to 72,000 rupees. The monthly tax of 142,500 rupees imposed on an individual earning a monthly income of 600,000 rupees will also be slashed by 16,500 rupees to 126,000 rupees. He further said the move aims to provide relief to professionals and private sector employees as well. The Cabinet approval has also been granted to remove the limitations of vehicle imports from the 1st of October. State Minister Ranjit Siambalapitiya stated that this removal will be carried out in 3 stages. State Minister Ranjit Siambalapitiya said the removal of the temporary suspension on importation of motor vehicles will be done in 3 stages. He said that the importation of public passenger transport vehicles, special purpose vehicles and other non-motorized goods will be allowed from the 1st of October 2024. He said the temporary suspension of importation of commercial or goods transportation vehicles will be lifted on the 1st of December 2024. He further said the importation of personal usage motor vehicles will be permitted starting from the 1st of February 2025. The Cabinet has nodded for proposal to provide a sum of 200 million rupees to purchase a stock of 200,000 metric tons of milk powder from the Milko Company. The daily collection of liquid milk by the Milko Company has increased from 50,000 litres to 200,000 litres. Since many dairy companies have stopped purchasing liquid milk from the farmers, the Milko Company is purchasing all liquid milk produced by dairy farmers. The daily production of a milk powder company has increased due to this reason. The Minister Mahendra Amaraveera stated that the government has decided to purchase the excessive stock of milk powder to sell under the Highland brand through Satas outlets.
The International Monetary Fund points out that if Sri Lanka wants to come out of the most serious economic crisis faced in the history, the economic targets achieved so far should be protected. Spokesperson of the International Monetary Fund, Julie Kozak, says that the talks with Sri Lanka with regard to the third monetary review will start after the presidential election.
So with respect to the question on the debt, an IMF team visited Colombo earlier in August and issued a press release at that time. As mentioned in the press release, the execution of the domestic debt restructuring and finalizing the agreement with the Official Creditor Committee and China Exim Bank are major milestones. The staff assessed that what's the so-called joint working framework, and the staff has also provided an assessment of this framework to the Sri Lankan authorities. Furthermore, at the request of the Sri Lankan authorities, the IMF staff has shared this assessment with the financial advisors of the country's bondholders. So that is where our role has been on the debt. And I also just want to re-emphasize that with respect to debt restructuring, the IMF does not take part in the negotiating discussions. Those negotiations are between the member country and its creditors, with the IMF making an overall assessment of debt sustainability. And I would also refer you to a press release issued by the Sri Lankan authorities, which contains further information. With respect to the other question on the DSA, I think my broad response is essentially the same as it was to some of the earlier questions, which first, with respect to the upcoming presidential elections, this is for the people of Sri Lanka to decide. From the IMF's position, what we see is a program that has made significant achievements, but that it is important to safeguard these achievements to enable the country to fully emerge from one of its worst crises. And as mentioned in a press release during the timing of the third review, the timing of the third review will be discussed with the government following the elections. So we will move forward with program discussions after the presidential elections take place, and a new government, or the outcome based on the choice of the people. We will be ready to go with that.
The Election Commission says the marking of postal votes ended in a peaceful manner without any problem. The chairman of the commission, RMAL Ratnayaka, told the media regarding this matter. Chairman of the Election Commission, RAMAL Ratnayaka, said that the relevant returning officers informed the Commission that the postal voting commenced without any problem. He said that when the voters go to the polling stations to cast their vote, the national identity card should be taken with them. He said that the official poll cards received by the post should be also taken. He said that a voter should not take bags, parcels, phones and such other things to the polling booth. He said that if a person with special needs are unable to go to the polling centre, they can be transported by a vehicle. He added, for this purpose, an application should be forwarded to the election officers before the 14th of this month. He also expressed views on the counting of votes. The chairman of the Election Commission, RAMAL Ratnayaka, said that the Election Commission expects to count the votes soon after the ballot boxes are brought to the counting centres, and the entire results will be announced after the counting. He said that in case of any candidate who has not exceeded 50% of the votes, then a second preferential vote is to be counted. He said that after counting the preferential votes, the Commission is ready to express the final results in such an instance. He said that the Commission has arranged special measures to carry out the counting process without delay.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that people should not leak their future by providing a chance to Anurakkumara Dissanayake and the National People's Power. The President made these remarks addressing a public rally held in Puttalam today. The rally was organised to ensure the victory of independent presidential candidate Ranil Wickremesinghe. A large crowd, including people's representatives, were present at this occasion. Presidential candidate Ranil Wickremesinghe requested that Sri Lanka's youth not to forfeit their future opportunities by supporting NPP led by Anurakkumara. The President highlighted that despite his request for clarification on Anurakkumara's economic policies, which he argues are leading to shortages, he has yet to receive a response even after 3 days. President Wickremesinghe emphasized his commitment to safeguarding the country's economy and preventing a return to shortages that would burden the people's lives. The President announced that due to the strengthening of the country's foreign exchange reserves, the Cabinet has approved lifting the temporary ban on importing automobiles and non-mechanical automobiles spare parts. Additionally, he said that as part of the government's relief program for taxpayers, the Cabinet has also approved a revision of the personal income tax structure set to take effect in April 2025.
මේ රටේ විදේශ විනිමය සංචතිය ශක්තිමත් වෙලා තියෙන නිසා ආපහු මෝටර රථ ලංකාවට ආනයනය කරන්නට අපි තීරණය කළා තහනම ඉවත් කරලා තියෙනවා. බදු ගෙවන අයටත් මූලික තලය ලක්ෂ 5යි අපි ඒ තල හැම එකක්ම 7,20,000කට වැඩි කරා. එහෙනම් 7,20,000 තමන්ගේ ආදායම වැඩි වෙන්න තමන් ගෙවන බදු ටික අඩු වෙන්න යනවා. අන්න එහෙම තමයි අද අපි පියවර අරගෙන තියෙන්නේ. ඉතින් මං අහන්නේ තමන් ලෑස්තිද තමන්ගේ අනාගතය මේ මාලිමාවේ කණ්ඩායමට දෙන්න ලෑස්තිද රුපියල ආපහු බාල්දු කරගන්න ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂමයි ජනාධිපති.
Presidential candidate Sajid Premadasa says that an export economy centered on knowledge will be created to empower the people as next steps the apparel industrial revolution initiated during the R. Premadasa era. He made these remarks at a public rally held in Kaltara yesterday. This rally was held at Katukurunda area to secure the victory of presidential candidate Sajid Premadasa. Representatives of the party supporters and many others were present at this occasion. Presidential candidate Sajid Premadasa questioned whether the bankrupted country can be saved by Ranil Anura's so-called alliance or the SJB alliance. He said that the people should take a decision whether they provide an opportunity to save the country to the Ranil Anura alliance or the Samagi Jana Bala Vegaya that has taken measures to save the country even when the opposition. He further said that the people has a responsibility of taking a decision to create a new era for the common man. Presidential candidate Sajid Premadasa pointed out that creating a new era will be carried out through a new vision and a new process of political ideology. He said that the SJB government, each school will be transformed into a smart school. He said that English language and information technology education will be developed. He said that the development programs will be implemented for the benefit of the younger generation, and that through this program unemployment of youth will be provided with new knowledge. He said that the great industrial revolution carried out by Am Premadasa through his 200 garment factories program will be expanded as export-oriented will be in the next stage. Another rally to support presidential candidate Sajid Premadasa was held in Talawatagoda yesterday. Parliamentarian Paltali Champikaranavaka said that there is no bus stand for Maharagama and Kottava, and they delivered a modern 2 bus terminals with the construction of the Markborough Transport Centre. He said that they expected to convert the Kalani Valley Railway from line from Homagama and Markborough to Maradana into an erected railway line and turn the Maharagama textile shops into a new city complex. He pointed out that the low-floor buses will be introduced and new bus services will be created. Parliamentarian Harsha De Silva said that Anrukumara Disanayaka has to be pointed out that economy can be built going through 220 million country to a billion people of the world where products and services can be provided. He added that Anrukumara will be able to fulfill it, and the country still runs with the government instructions started by Ranasinghe Premadasa's government. Parliamentarian Bashir Jayasekara said that the JVP student unions and the Sri Jayanthapura University started rioting yesterday, and by today the university has been closed and the SJB youth have been assaulted. He pointed out that they are trying to turn the country into a pool of blood. Parliamentarian Hirunika Premchandra said that the NPP is trying to use the sentimentality of the youth and stir hatred. She requests the parents to be careful as they are trying to distort the minds of the youth the same way they did 35 years ago. She pointed out thousands perished in the disaster and people have to be cautious about this.
Presidential candidate of the National People's Power, Anurakumara Disanayaka, stresses that the place entitled to Buddhism in the country will be continuously safeguarded under his government. He made these remarks addressing a public rally held in Ambalangoda yesterday. This rally was held to secure the victory of presidential candidate Anurakumara Disanayaka. He further said that some political parties have attempted to make false statements before the possible victory of the National People's Power. Presidential candidate Anurakumara Disanayaka said that they have already said the status given to Buddhism by the constitution shall not be abolished at all, and such a requirement is not there. He pointed out that he himself, Bimal Ratnayaka, Sampandan, Sumandiran, Rauf Hakim, Dinesh Gunawardena and Mano Ganeshan were participants. Anurakumara Disanayaka also stressed that MPs representing Tamil, Muslim and upcountry never requested to change the 9th sentence of the constitution. He said that this is a lie to instigate the people and the national flag shall remain the same. He said that once they are in power, the corrupt political system and corruption will be eliminated anyway. He added that Buddhist monks of temples will not be deprived of alms, Kandi Perahara will not be stopped, and the position of Buddhism will not be changed, while all religions and communities shall be treated equally.
අපි ආපුවම නුවර පෙරහැර නතර කරනවා. පෙරහැර හැබැයි මේවා කියන්නේ නින්දන් කඩපු නායක වෙන වේදිකාවක් නැගලා තමයි මේවා කියන්නේ. බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේගේ පිළිමේ පපු කුවර හාරලා නින්දන් හොයපුවා තමයි මේවා කියන්නේ. තැන තැන ගිහිල්ලා දුටු ගැමුණු රජුරුවන්ගේ කඩුව හොයන්න වේර විහාරස්ථාන විනාශ කරපුවා තමයි මෙහෙම කියන්නේ. ප්‍රසිද්ධ චිත්‍රයක් තුවා මුල්කිරිගල චිත්‍රය. ඔය මුල්කිරිගල චිත්‍රයේ තිබුණේ අගමැති නිවස අරලියගා මන්දිරේ. හිටියා ඒකේ ප්‍රේමදාස. මොකද වුනේ? ප්‍රේමදාසගේ දුලාන්ජලි බැන්දා ජයකොඩි. මේ ජයකොඩි මොකද කරේ? මේ චිත්‍රය හොරකම් කරා. හොරකම් කරලා සුද්ධෝදයකට ඇවිල්ලා ලන්ඩන් වල චිත්‍ර ප්‍රදර්ශනයේ විකුණුකට තමයි මේක අහුුනේ. මුල්කිරිගල වටිනා චිත්‍ර හොරකම් කරපු ප්‍රේමදාසලා. අද ಜಾති ආගම ගැන කතා කරන්න ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. අපේ රටේ විනෝදාංශයට ඇත්තුමරපු නායකයෝ කඩුව හොයන්න නිදන් කඩපු නායකයෝ මොනවද මේ කියන්නේ?
Another rally to support presidential candidate Anurakumara Disanayaka was held in Monaragala today. Presidential candidate Anurukumara Disanayake said that the people are enthusiastically participating and that proves that they will be victorious in the election. He added that in other rallies they throw insults at others and a news channel is supporting it. He further said that pensions of MPs, their vehicle permits, government accommodation to them will be abolished once they come to power, and their electricity, water and fuel bills will also be stopped. He also said that motorcades of ministers, whereas police protection shall be removed if they do not have any threat. He finally asserted that a strong government is required since a lot of work has to be done for the country.
ජනාධිපතිතුරු විශ්‍රාමයට පහෝසි හිටපු ජනාධිපතිතුරු බලා ගන්න එක අහෝසි ඇමතිවරයා පස්සේ වාහන හත අට යන එක අහෝසි ඇමතිවරයාට ආරක්ෂාව පිළිබඳ තරජනයක් නැත්නම් පොලිසියෙන් ලබා දෙන්නේ නැත රට වටේ තියෙන ජනාධිපති මන්දිර අහෝසි හරිනේ අය හොදගෙන ගන්න ඕන ගන්න එක හොඳයි හරිද ඊයත් එපා මේ සැරේ දෙන්න ඕන මොකද අපිට ලොකු වැඩ ටිකක් තියෙනවා කරන්න හොඳ අයිය සහිත ආණ්ඩුවක් ඕන.
Presidential candidate of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Nama Rajapaksa, says that the factions who own the dark history are scared to talk about their history. He made these remarks participating in a public meeting held in the Kalavavara in Anuradhapura yesterday. This rally was organized at the Thalava bus stand premises to ensure the victory of presidential candidate Nama Rajapaksa. People's representatives of the party supporters and others were present in the occasion. Parliamentarian Johnston Fernandez said that almost 76,000 children of innocent parents were taken into the graveyard in 1971. The minister questioned as to how Vasantha Samarasinghe was saved while the innocent youths died in pyres of burning tyres. Presidential candidate Nama Rajapaksa said that although most of us talk about the past 76 years, much of the development has been achieved under the time of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. He said that certain politicians are asking him why he is referring to the history, but he knows that, well, the history of the country is beautiful and can talk about it. He added that steps will be taken to definitely step up the industry of each electorate, which can be indigenous or through foreign investors. He promised that to protect the farmers, and steps will be taken to cultivate wherever possible. He said that young farmers will be enabled to get higher harvests in lesser land segments while giving them fertilizer subsidy. He further pointed out that technology will be merged into fisheries sector too. He stressed that the party believes the local businesses and Sri Lanka will be turned into a fast developing country in the South Asia in the next 10 years. Presidential candidate Nama Rajapaksa also participated at a public rally held in Mihintale yesterday. Parliamentarian Thisakutiarachi said that this is one of the rallies. Shiranti Rajapaksa participated in more than 350 rallies to ensure the victory of Nama Rajapaksa in Hambantota districts, and stones were thrown at it when one child was injured. He said that small kids are carried by mothers to political rallies and that child was getting treatment at the Hambantota hospital. He said that stones were thrown by those who set houses on fire earlier.
National member of the Patriotic National Front, attorney at law Nuwan Bellantudava, says that at a seminar held in Colombo yesterday, a tense situation occurred. Addressing a media briefing today, he said a group of JVP members are connected to this incident. The Patriotic National Front has organised a seminar at the National Library and Documentation Services Board in Colombo 7 under the title of Real Challenges in the Country Before the Presidential Election. They have accused that prior to the presidential election, there are threats to the Sasana and the integrity of the country. The attack was carried out while National Member of the Patriotic National Front, Attorney at Law Nuwan Belantudava, was addressing the gathering. National Member of the Patriotic National Front, Attorney at Law Nuwan Belantudava, said that when this discussion started, a lady who had come there was threatened since the ideas which could surface in the discussion will not be useful for the country to avoid participating in it. He pointed out that the person who threatened later took video clips of their members and a group of others. He further pointed out that they later came to know the person who made the threat was a JVP organizer of the Vanathavilua area and has also worked as an organizer of Kilapana area too.
ඒ අවස්ථාවෙන් පසුව අපිට දැනගන්න ලැබුණා මේ රැස්වීමට සහභාගී වුණු අපේ ආරාධනාව මත සහභාගී වූ සහ අනෙකුත් කණ්ඩායම් වලින් දැනගන්න ලැබුණා මේ සමාජිකයන් ඉතා පැහැදිලිව ජනතා විමුක්ති පෙරමුණේ වනාත ප්‍රදේශයේ සංවිධායකවරයෙක් වශයෙන් සහ කිරුළපන ප්‍රදේශයේ සංවිධායකවරයෙක් වශයෙන් කටයුතු කරන දෙදෙනෙක් තමයි මේකට සහභාගී වුණේ කියන කාරණේ. ගම්වල ඉන්න ජනතා විමුක්ති පෙරමුණේ සමාජිකයන්ට කතා කළාම වුන් කියනවා අපේ ආසනයේ 80%ක් අපි ජයග්‍රහණය කරනවා කියලා. අපේ ආසනයේ 85%ක් අපි ජයග්‍රහණය කරනවා. ලංකාවේ ඡන්දපතිඵලෙ මෙච්චරක් කියලා කියනවා. මේ ප්‍රසිද්ධ වේදිකාවල මාලිමාවේ සහෝදරු උදේවල් කතා නොකලට පල්ලෙහා තියෙන වේදිකාවල ගාමීය මට්ටමින් ඔවුන්ගේ පාක්ෂිකයන්ව ඔවුන් මොරාල් කරන්න හදන්නේ මේ වගේ පච කියලා. මේකේ ඇතිවන භයානක තත්ත්වය තමයි මැතිවරණයේදී ඔවුන්ට ජයග්‍රහණය නොලැබුණොත් එම ඇතිවන පරාජය දරා ගන්න බැරි මට්ටමට ජනතා විමුක්ති පෙරමුණේ සමාජිකයන් පත් වෙනවා. මේ ඉන්න පුද්ගලයෝ තමන්ගේ ඉහළින් නායකයන්ට පාලනය කරන්න බැරි ආකාරයට ප්‍රචණ්ඩ ක්‍රියාවලට නියුක්ත වෙන බරපතල ඉඩකටක් දිනන තමයි අපිට කියන්න තියෙන දේ.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that Janatha Vimukti Peramuna, which claims NP link to the armed uprising, should take legal action claiming compensation. He further said that they're misleading the people by giving promises that cannot be fulfilled. The president questioned as to how the future of the country can be handed over to a group which is not ready to accept its past mistakes. President Ranil Wickremesinghe expressed his views at the Puluwan Peraliya program in Colombo yesterday. This meeting was organized to ensure the victory of the independent presidential candidate Ranil Wickremesinghe. A large crowd was present on the occasion.
Can we win this thing?
Asking you whether you mean the election?
This election, yeah.
Yeah, that's why you contested.
So like in case if SJB or NPP wins, what are the negative consequences that might occur within the upcoming months, and will fuel queues and gas queues be visible again, and will IMF help us again if it happens, unfortunately, sir?
They are not going to win. But basically what you have to do is you have to conform to the agreement, debt sustainability agreement that we've arrived at. If anyone doesn't do that, we are going to be in serious trouble. Dollar will get about 500 rupees.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe participated in a special meeting on the Forum of Doctors yesterday. The theme was Doctors for a Healthy Future. At the meeting, the doctors presented their questions and the president delivered a successful answers pointing to the medical ordinance that has been modernized for the changes to the way brought about the health sector. He emphasized that the advisory practices will be re-established in the Ministry of Health. He further said that it has been planned to introduce the Health Act covering both public and private sectors in the modern health standards.
And I did that very fast because in this game there should be no vacuum as far as power is concerned. It must flow from one to another. If you create a vacuum, you are going to serious trouble, and that's what has happened in Bangladesh. They allowed a vacuum to develop, and that vacuum cannot be filled. Everyone is now getting into that and burn something when they feel like it, either before dinner or after dinner. It depends on the mood that they are in. Actually, this was the problem of Sri Lanka, that
in the first round, after Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa resigned, there was a complete vacuum, and I thought I should at least fill it up and make a go at it. Felt it could be done, it to be tackled. Second time was to ask for a committee headed by the Speaker to run the government. That also would not have worked. So I acted as Prime Minister in the absence of the President and took power. So remember one thing, that you must never have a vacuum in power. It must legally be passed from one to another. So then we took the necessary steps. What we have received now is, Dr. Samarth, we have stabilized the economy, but we really got to strengthen it, establish it. You say in Sinhala is tahuru karan. And the other is that we have to earn more money. If our GDP increases, your salaries increase. So how do we do that? The first is, we must move towards export-oriented economy. There is no other way out. So everyone has to look at exports. The whole medical service should be one in which, while we cater to our people, a surplus is earned by catering outside to other patients. That's why I want to see a good health service develop, both for our people and for out. Otherwise, all these issues can never be resolved with the internal, the way the GDP develops up. We have to go for about 7-8% growth over a period of time. And we are looking at new sectors. So if you make your economy an export-oriented economy, if you have a digital economy, a green economy, knowledge-based economy, and you are modernizing your agriculture sector, just imagine the changes you will have in this country. It's far-reaching changes.
Sita Arambepula today took oath as the State Minister of Women's and Child Affairs at the President's office in front of President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Consultant Dr. Sita Arambepula has been appointed as the State Minister of Women's and Child Affairs, being the State Minister of Health at the moment. President Secretary Saman Ekanayake was also present at the oath taking.
Commissioner General of Examinations Amit Jayasundara says that GCE A-level examinations of this year will be held from the 25th of November to the 20th of December. At a press briefing held at the Department of Examination, he further said that efforts are taken to hold the examination as usual. He also commented on the Grade 5 scholarship examination to be held on next Sunday.
සැප්තැම්බර් මාස 15 වෙනි දින පැවැත්වීම සඳහා සියලු කටයුතු මේ වෙනකොට සූදානම් කරලා තියෙනවා. පෙරවරු 9:30ට විභාගය ආරම්භ වෙනවා. මේ විභාගය සඳහා අපේක්ෂකයන් 3,23,879 දෙනෙක් ආයුධ පත්‍ර යොමු කරලා තියෙනවා පාසල් වලින්. අපේක්ෂකයන් සඳහා අපි
In the meantime, presidential candidate Venerable Battaramule Siraratna Thera says that all who are responsible for the bankruptcy of the country will be brought to book and a self-sufficient country will be created under his rule. The Thera made these remarks while engaging in propaganda activities in the Gampaha town. Presidential candidate Venerable Battaramule Siraratna Thera said there are two groups ruling this country, and the first one is the JVP and the second one is the generation of the Rajapakshas. The Thera said much more damage was done by the Janata Vimukti Peramuna than terrorism, and now they are contesting under NPP. The Thera said that the people have to be very careful since the JVP is no better than other parties. The Thera questioned as to how Sajid Premadasa and other political parties offer to give 20,000 or 10,000 rupees to the people and from where they get that money. The Thera pointed out that they tax the people of the country and are preparing to drag the country into a precipice. The Thera also added that those who made the nation bankrupt will be punished legally.
බදු ගහලා ඒ සල්ලි වලින් මුන්ට දෙනවා කන්න බොන්න ඊට පස්සේ මොකද කරන්නේ රට සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම අගාධයට ඇදලා දාන්නයි මේ කට්ටිය සෝදානම් වෙන්නේ පට්ට පල් හොරු මේ රට බංකොලොත් කරපු සියලු දෙනා නීතියෙන් අතනුර අරගෙන දඩුවම් කළා මේ ස්වාම්පෝත් රටක් කරනවා සමහර විට මේ ජනාධිපති මැතිවරණේ ජනසත පෙරමුණට බලයක් දුන්නේ නැති ගොඩේ මඩේ ඕනට දෙකයන්ද පුළුවන් රටයක් තමයි ටැක්ටරේ.
Well, that's it on local stories. We'll be back with news overseas.
Kamuda machan, prima kotumi fantamai.
Now, foreign news. According to the United Nations report, Israel's war on Gaza has devastated and Palestinian enclave economy, reducing it to less than 1/6 of its size in 2022, while there has also been significant downturn in the occupied West Bank.
A report published today by the UN Trade and Development Agency found that the production processes have been disrupted or decimated, income sources have disappeared, poverty has intensified and expanded, neighborhoods have been eradicated, and communities and towns have been ruined. Mutassim El-Agra, who coordinates Trade and Development Agency's Palestinian Assistance Program, said it remained unclear how much it would cost to build. Already by early 2024, Trade and Development Agency said up to 96% of Gaza's agricultural assets, including farms, orchards, irrigation systems, machinery.
Introducing Prima Kottumi Korean Ramen. Let's fire it up.
Now to sports news. A ceremony was held today to welcome Milan Ratnaika, who set a world record in his first international test cricket tournament today as his native place was Variapola. Milan Ratnaika was escorted to Variapola town by a motorcade and given a warm welcome. The ceremony has been organized by the All Students Association of Variapola Business Association and the residents of the area. Milan Ratnaika's parents and cricket coach of his school were also participated in the ceremony.
Introducing Prima Kottumi Korean Ramen. Let's fire it up.
That's it for tonight's English News Update. Thank you for joining us. Good night.
Good night.